Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. It's a time where we can relax and craft for about an hour, and we work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process along the way. So right now we are working on the Splendid Sampler to Quilt Along. So here's the book. The authors, Pat Sloan and Jane Davidson, are doing a quilt along for their book. So everyone is doing pretty much the same block every week, unless you're falling behind like me. So I am working on some of my unfinished blocks right now, and we're almost done with the clamshells block. So here we are with the clamshells. It is so cute. We have one more row of these little templated kind of scallops left, or clamshells left. So that is our plan for tonight. We're gonna stitch that on. And then I wanted to share with you guys a few things. We talked about that book last night, and I want to show you that. And I want to show you my progress on the sheep pillow and one other really super goofy thing that I started after reading this book. So, all right, thanks for joining me. I'm going to flip you around. Let's get going. Thanks for coming in again, you guys. Oh, you just finished Estelle. Shauna, I have not even started that block yet. So a lot of people have been talking about the Estelle block and how it was difficult. Maybe we should start that one next. I don't know. All right, so here we are. We have these three fellers left to do tonight. And then besides trimming it down, this block is done. But yes, I wanted to have a little bit of show and tell first. So let's shimmy this stuff out of the way. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is the Bobble Pillow that I'm working on. Okay, so it's a free pattern from Purl Soho. So this is what it looks like. So it's the Purl Soho Bobble Sheet Pillow. I put a link to it. It is a free pattern. It is on their blog. But you know, then they sell fancy dancy kits with fancy dancy yarn in there as well. And last time I visited the store, actually 2 times ago, when I visited the store in New York City with my husband, that was one of a gift for me from him is a kit for this, and I wanted to share my progress. So I'm gonna get real high up here. You can see my giant mess. I haven't cleaned anything up yet from this block. But here is the pillow so far. So I've finished the bobble part of it. So here you can see again, so you can get a sense of the size. The kit that I got, I like the white kit like this, but they didn't have that one in stock, so I got the gray kit. And so here we are. The next up, the head actually goes on this side, I believe. So you can see where it's all kind of flat here. This is where the head is. So I'm gonna have to pick up a whole pile of stitches here next and work on the head. So the head is actually knit with a much smaller needle. So these are I'm still using that interchangeable, the Collage interchangeable knitting needle set, and I switched to these size 3 needles. So this was stitched with like a size 11, which is a pretty fat needle for a fat yarn. And these are like tiny itty bitty needles. So we'll be doing the head, that's what we'll be using these needles for, with this dark charcoal gray, which is much thinner. So here's how thick this yarn was compared to this twisted yarn that I'm using now. But anyway, so that is the next step here. I'm pretty stoked about it. I haven't stuffed it or anything yet. Here's the bottom. This was that provisional cast on, which just means that it's like a temporary place to hold stitches, and then I think I have to stitch feet and everything yet. But there is my progress. Look at all those silly little bobbles. And we did one of the bobbles on here for a little while ago too. Is that what I would use for socks? So I would definitely use, I mean, it depends what pattern you're using for socks. But I have been trying, there is a technique, oh gosh, what's it called? Someone shouted out, a technique where you can use knitting needles with a long cable, and this one is even a flexible cable, which is kind of cool. Instead of using double pointed needles, you can use this method, and you guys, I totally forgot it, but someone here knows, I'm sure, where you use, instead of using double pointed needles, you use the long cable with, you know, just normal needles on a cable. I've been using that technique, which I'm trying for the first time in this project, and it's been working great. So I'm going to try, instead of using double pointed needles for the head, yeah, magic loop. That is it, Barbara, thanks, the magic loop technique. So I've been testing that out, and it's been working super great. I'm always a little scared of the double pointed needles, so now that I get to use my cable, I'm pretty happy about that. So okay, that is that project. All right. Then here is that book that I was talking about, you guys. I totally recommend it. I just finished it. Women's Work, the First 20,000 Years. Women, Cloth, and Society in Early Times. And it is so fascinating. It goes all the way back to like Paleolithic time. And it goes through basically archaeology. She's in the Elizabeth Wayland Barber is an archaeologist, like a really well-known archaeologist in the field, and she just talks about where women's work basically was in all of that history and what it entailed, and it really focuses a lot on spinning yarn and weaving, and it is just so interesting. So I recommend this if you need a little read. I put a link to that to this in this post as well. But then I wanted to show you, this just got me super inspired to try spinning. And so with like a drop spindle. So I had purchased this weird drop spindle kit like a decade ago, and instead of the weight on it, or the whirl on it, it was a weird CD that broke. I don't know. I won't get into that. But so instead, so here's my little drop spindle that I made. It's just a dowel basically with a hook on the end. That's the part that was part of the kit. And I just have this, I braided a long time ago. And this, again, I found this, some jeans. I just braided like the seams of some jeans. I found it in the same place that my spindle was, in the deep depths of my craft drawer. So I'm using that as my weight, but I am spinning this yarn basically with a drop spindle. But, okay, first of all, I'll show you guys how I do this at the end when I show you, when I flip the camera again. So at the end, when we're done stitching this, stick around and I'll show you how I use this drop spindle. But if you notice, the yarn that I'm making is a little goofy, and that's because it is plastic. So this is actually spun plastic, and this is what it is. So you guys, these are my embroidery kits, just without the hoop and stuff right now because it's an in-progress kit. But when I make these, there is this little piece of plastic that comes off of these before I seal them all up. And I have been saving these plastic pieces for years. I have them in bins and bins of just like Tupperware bin things, Sterilite bins. So I just have buckets basically of these. So that is what I have been spinning here. So you just like let it drop and spin it. So I will show you how I do that a little further away when we're done here. So stick around for that. But isn't it just wacky? So this book inspired me to try my hand at that, and I'm just having a silly fun time. So anyway, you guys, let's get stitching here tonight. But I'll show you guys that tonight when we're done here as well. That's what I did this Sunday when I took the entire day off. I found that spindle and I started spinning plastic yarn like a crazy person, basically. So, well, that's what I do in my free time. All right. Anyway, let's get started on this. I want to find, oh my gosh, I hope it's not attached to me. I need, oh here, good. I need the straw needle again. And let's grab some thread. I've been just getting it off of this bobbin. We're gonna do the same thing that we did last night. Yeah, the plastic yarn. I have no idea whatsoever what I'm gonna do with it. And it's ridiculous. It takes forever. I'm hardly using any of the plastic up, but for some reason I can't throw those plastic bits away. I need to make something out of them. I don't know. It's crazy. All right, I'm going to stitch these 3 together. Jennifer, I don't think it will break actually because it is the connecting points. I'll just show you here quick. Like this is where it's connected right here. You can barely tell because there are so many twists in there. I can actually pull on this and it's not separating. So I'm actually kind of like grafting all these pieces together. So I think this is actually pretty sturdy and it's because of all the little twists that are in there. It is ridiculous. So I'm not sure, it's so thin. Oh, a kitchen scrubber, maybe that. So it's just so goofy. I don't know what to make out of it because it's not hefty. It is a pretty fine, I was gonna say wool. It is pretty fine yarn. Like it's really thin kind of yarn. So I'm not sure it's actually suitable for a bag. Oh my gosh, I cannot thread this. I need to snip the end. I think it's maybe not hefty enough for a bag or a rug or anything like that. It needs to be something super delicate, and I don't know what that would be. Oh yeah, like a lace curtain-y type thing, something like that maybe. So, but then I think, oh, do I really want plastic window shades? So I'm in a little bit of a pickle with what to do with it. It has to be something delicate, but something that you wouldn't ever wear or use as a blanket, or you know, it's still weird plastic. But I think it'd be really pretty, like woven or something. It almost would look like, kind of from far away, it would look like any other like fine woven something or another. So I don't know, like any other yarn. Oh, that's a good idea, Betty. I could crochet some snowflakes. That'd be good. Then it could be like a whole like recycled Christmas tree ornament or something. I could do a dishcloth. I'm just wondering, I don't think I can, I think it's too delicate. Oh yeah, sink mats. Oh, someone suggested like on the dryer or the washer, on the not the dishwasher. What am I thinking? Like the clothes washer. Oh my God, I have no vocabulary right now. To have it be like the sieve drainy thing. Weave or knit fabric and make what's a motions bag? Oh, a notions bag. Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, exactly, Noeline. A lightweight, waterproof sweater. It would actually be perfect for that, but it's like that weird little plastic aspect of it. Like, oh my gosh, it's just so stupid. Oh, a pineapple doily. That would be fun. I would enjoy doing that. Yeah, exactly, Shauna. Oh, I do like making the doilies. What would I do with a giant plastic doily? Well, I don't know what to do with the doilies I have anyway. But that would be fun. I would enjoy that for sure. I have this really nice, I just love it. It's like a loosely woven blanket that that my parents got when they went to Africa with my grandpa one year, several years ago, and my mom got this woven blanket. So like women were spinning yarn, like wool, and weaving it, and it is almost exactly the same. It's like the same thickness. So in my brain, I'm like, oh, I could weave like this pretty airy blanket, but Who wants this blanket out of plastic? So that is, this whole plastic situation is the weird thing. Oh yeah, coasters, that'd be cute. Oh, Glennis, that'd be kind of neat. Little covers for dishes and stuff. Yeah, it's a conundrum. These are all fantastic ideas. I need to figure it out for sure, but it takes forever. So it is going to take me forever and ever, and they talk about this in the book a little bit, but it's going to take me forever to get any sort of length of yarn. So I don't know. It'll be forever until I have enough to make anything out of it. Oh, picnic blanket. The other thing is I don't know how washable this is going to be. Like if I get it dirty. I mean, I understand it's plastic, but I don't know. It might be too delicate. I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. Oh yeah, bracelets. Yeah, it could be like jewelry of some sort. That'd be pretty interesting. Come on. So these are all glued down. I'm just taking the template pieces out. I'm just kind of zipping along today. We did this whole process yesterday. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, if I'm skipping talking about it, check out last night's video on the Penguin and Fish movies on YouTube. But yeah, so I'm just taking out the templates here. We've stitched together the points, so we have like this kind of garland going. And oh, I did not stitch these together very well, did I? Oh gosh. Well, at least it's only to temporarily hold them, so we're gonna be okay. All right, I'm gonna grab some of these pins I still have laying around from last night. Hopefully they're not stuck to me. I feel like I had more than these. Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna start by just kind of folding over this middle one and trying to kind of center it with this. I think the middle one will be the most looked at one. So the top arch of it is kind of where it meets at the point. So that's where I'm just trying to center it and place it. And I'll temporarily pin this while I work on the rest of them. Yeah, something delicate and light that I, in theory, don't use for anything. Like, that's more decorative. Oh, and that I'll want to do, like I said, like 12 years from now when I have any length of thread. I'm pretty excited about it, though. Oh, crazy plastic yarn. Or plarn. I've heard it called plarn before. But that's when you make plastic yarn out of plastic bags. We should do that sometime on here because that's really fun to do. That's definitely a little different process of what I'm doing now. But that'd be fun. We could make some plarn sometime. That is good for crocheting like grocery bags and stuff because it's heftier. Oh, yeah, something like that, Terry. Yeah, a decorative, like a crocheted Easter eggs and stuff. My grandma always used to make those, and I just loved them. That'd be fun. All right, last night I kind of pinned down these bottom points too because I was kind of centering those points, and that was helpful. So I think I will grab 2 more pins. I suppose I don't need that pin there. Well, yeah, we'll leave it. And just kind of nudge this so it's centered. It looks pretty good. Kind of pinning a lot today. So some of these weird points and stuff, we'll try and correct that a little bit as we stitch. Oh, Jennifer, the heat by you is insane. Oh my gosh. We are having totally the opposite. I am not going to the office again tomorrow because we are supposed to get from midnight tonight to 6 p.m. tomorrow, we're supposed to get another 6 to 9 inches of snow on top of our like 12 inches of snow that is still there. Oh, and then we're supposed to actually get more on Friday as well. Friday and this weekend. So I think after tomorrow's snowfall, proposed snowfall, because it isn't happening yet, but if the weather dudes are correct and the winter storm warning that we're in right now is correct, then we will have reached the most inches of snow ever in February in Minnesota. So the February's biggest snowfall. So we decided to stay home. Oh, you're getting 6 to 10 tonight in northern Idaho? Oh, so we're probably, Jane, we're probably getting what you're getting. We're probably getting that next. Idaho. Yeah, that would keep pushing over to us. It wouldn't be a different system, would it? I don't think so. All right. Let's start tucking this under. Guys, I feel like it's Friday. It is only Tuesday. Crazy, crazy. Oh man, you just had a cold shower and the sweat's still dripping. Oh man. Whew. It's not been like that for a while. We do get, we do get 100-degree weather here in Minnesota. A lot of people don't realize that. They just think it's super cold, but it's extremes. So it's I mean, obviously not all the time, but the last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was, we had that negative 30 degrees without wind chill. So negative 30 Fahrenheit below zero, 30 degrees below zero without wind chill. So with wind chill, then it's like in the 50 plus, feels like degrees below. So that was a couple weeks ago, or last week, who knows? The weeks are kind of blending together. But very recently, and then in summer, sometimes it can get to 100 every once in a while. I don't think that's as well. It's not common to get negative 50 either. I was gonna say it's not as common to get the super high 100s, but it can get high 90s, no problem. And it's humid, so 90s with humidity, which is pretty oppressive. But it's fun. I mean, today it was, it was 19 or so degrees, which is a heat wave right now. And it was just so beautiful out today. It was nice and sunny and actually a little warm. I mean, not warm, obviously. That's, 19 degrees isn't warm. But in winter here, usually when the sun's shining in February, it means it is so cold outside because there's no clouds like holding in any of the heat. So if it's sunny, that means all of the heat has escaped the atmosphere and it's going to be so cold. But today was actually really nice. It was like a normal sunshine, not a freezing cold sunshine. It was pretty beautiful. Except for some of this snow is melting a little bit and it's going to immediately freeze. So I think that's one of the reasons why the city went all out with the snow emergency early today. Or when I woke up today, they were talking about it for, the next evening already. My guess is because things are melting a little bit and they'll freeze again and get snowed over. So that's not fun. Oh my gosh, Gina, you have daffodils blooming. Oh, it's spring. That's like one of the first signs of spring, isn't it? Aww. Daffodils. So nice. That's the favorite. You would be rolling, Jennifer, in the snow if you were here just to cool down. Oh man. Well, I hope you get some relief at some point here. That can be tough. When it's hot like that, it can, I mean, you know, not that I know how it is by you if it's that hot, but like, I know heat by us can get pretty oppressive where you just can't do anything. Oh, they're the first of bloom. Spring's coming. My parents have a ton of daffodils, so it's always nice to see those when they pop up. Oh, your Lila loves the dandelions. Oh, funny. That's cute. Oh yeah, just for weeks on end too, that heat. Oh my gosh. So here I have like one of these little bumps. I'm just trying to push it down in the seam allowance and then grabbing it quick and then tacking it down before I let go. I know, Barbara. There has to be something in between intense heat and intense cold. Hooey, man, I don't know. As long as the heaters keep working and the air conditioners keep working, I suppose, but ugh. And I don't think homes by us are made very well anymore from the standpoint of being able to have like windows open for airflow and all that. Like in summer, if we have all the windows open, it's still not, you don't get a breeze really, like air's not sucked through the house. So that could be maximized somehow compared to how homes are made here. Okay. Let's see, we are almost done with our first little scallopy here. I think I'm gonna get rid of this pin where they met there. I'm gonna just have my thumb there for now. So I'm not gonna trim this yet. I'll trim it right before I sew it to the sashing that I'm using, and that's right before I do my free motion my free motion quilting. All right, and we should do that again soon. I have so many blocks now, finished blocks. It's time to get some quilt as you go free motion quilting blocks done again. Out of practice now. All right. First scallop. Let's move on. Yeah, Gretchen, it is so dry here as well. Like today, I mean, I'm hoping I'm going to make it tonight because my throat just got super goofy. It has been so dry today. And I've been just drinking water and I still just feel dehydrated and stuff. So I don't know. I'm going to have to suck down water all day tomorrow. More than usual. See how that goes. Oh, Barbara, you want to try free motion quilting? Well, we will definitely do that here soon. Maybe that'll be our next week's focus. Now that we got a bunch of... this past couple weeks have been me just finishing up a pile of unfinished blocks that have been sitting around. I just couldn't deal with all the unfinished stuff anymore, so we finished some up, hopefully including this one. So I have some racked up again, and so we'll do some free motion quilting again. It's time. But yeah, so keep joining me in the evenings here, and we will hopefully next week do some quilting. Again, I'm just kind of shaping this keep stabbing myself, but I'm just trying to keep shaping this clamshell a little bit. Oop, dropped my needle. So my mom texted me just a little while ago. I got a little thread here. She got a needle threader, like a fancy specialized, well, I don't know, a special needle threader, like more than just the little wire thing, but a needle threader to help with threading these itty bitty tiny straw needles, because the eye on these things are ridiculous. They're so little. I love that. I mean, they're so nice for stitching this applique and English paper piecing and that sort of stuff. So I really like having them around. But yeah, they're tiny. They're hard to thread, especially if it's hard to see close-up things. It's tough. So she got this needle threader, and it seems to be working. So next time I'm visiting, I'll have to check it out. Maybe I'll get one too. We'll see. This one's being touchy. It keeps wanting to come undone. There, I got it with my thumb now. You would like to know about the needle threader? I will, I'll ask her about it, and I'll throw an image of it or a link to where you can get one in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, or on the Penguin and Fish page here, and then I'll share it in the Crafters group. But yeah, it looked like, I have no idea how it works. It's this just like orange plastic, I don't know, half moon weirdly shaped device that you just set on your table, and it looks like, I don't know, you stick the needle in there just right and somehow it magically threads the needle or something. I don't know. I will get more info for you guys. But it looked interesting for sure. All right, out of here with pin. I think I'm going to remove this guy as well. And I'll just hold that there with my thumb. Oh, you make your grandson thread all your needles. That's awfully sweet. That's some good hand coordination practice. Oh, I have this one little thread here that's being annoying. I'm just going to trim it. There. Tuck it under. I think it's from this piece here. There, get in there, thread. I'm gonna hide it underneath this guy. Oh yeah, the old wire. So this is different. That's what I'm saying. It's different than those wire, the threaders with that has that little wire, like it's a little flat, you know, like the size of a penny, and then a little wire coming out of it, a wire loop. It's different than that. It's some fancy device made specially for crafty peeps. One of those devices that if you gave to anyone else in any other like industry or a non, even if you give it to a craft person, it would be hard to know what it was, I would think. One of those magic devices. Ooh, you still haven't spent your Fat Quarter Shop voucher. You'll have to share what you get when you do. But it's going to be hard to pick. Oh, you think you have the threader described, but oh, it's tough to get. Oh, 2 embroidery threads. Oh, interesting. So I've never used it. But yeah, with 2 threads, like how sometimes you do with embroidery. That's interesting. That'd be I should get one, and then we can do some tests. How it works with just sewing thread like this versus different numbers of strands for embroidery and all that. Yeah, I'd be interested in that. All right, Just folding under the edges just to get started here again. And this is our last guy. Last scallop, and we're done. At least for now. I'm not going to trim it, but after you would do this, you would trim this down. Oop, because, you know, we don't need all these crazy edges hanging over. And then I will show you this plastic drop spindle spiel. I'm a total beginner at it, so we'll see how it goes. But it's kind of fun to just, it's just so silly. I love it. Oh yeah, no, I don't think you would put DMC, or like, you wouldn't put embroidery floss in a straw needle like this. That would be so difficult to do. Unless it's a bigger straw needle. I mean, I'm using a size 11, but if you used like a bigger straw needle size, then you could probably get some threads in there. But no, I use an embroidery needle for embroidery thread. It just has a larger eye. So it's easier to put larger thread through like embroidery floss. That's quite a bit bigger than this sewing thread that I'm using now. This is 50 weight sewing thread. I think I'm gonna have just enough thread to finish this. Barely enough to tie a knot. That's what I'm gonna have. Let's tuck this under again. We got a little bump coming up here. I'm gonna try and tuck him in a little bit. Shape this scallop. So I'm pulling the seam allowance in a little bit and then squishing it with my thumb until it starts to look like a curved thing and doesn't have a point there. And I'm actually going to kind of make my stitch come up at that point. Then I can push it down even more, I think. Oh, Lucy, this block is one of your favorites. I really, really like it here too. Man, it was definitely, when it was sitting in my unfinished pile, oh, it was not a favorite then, that's for sure. There was so much to do on it, and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to get done with that one, and it's got all these parts to it and all that, but, you know, there's always a moment when I fall in love with a block, and I think it's once we really started stitching these scallops on. I mean, first of all, I love just the hand stitching of it. Like, I really enjoy doing it. It's relaxing. And I can just chit chat. I don't have to think so much. I'm just stitching little folds down. But yeah, it just is so sweet, I think, with these scallops. So that was the moment. Working on these scallops, or clamshells, I guess they're called clamshells. Okay, we got this little bit that's being dumb. It'll get cut off anyway, but I'm just trying to hold things down. Almost done, a few more stitches. Oh, sometimes I'm just going through a lot of fabric, so it's harder to pull my needle through. Sometimes I'm just, when I make these stitches, sometimes I'm just catching the top layer, and sometimes I'm getting a little deeper into several layers of fabric. And, you know, I don't think it matters so much, but when I do accidentally get a little deeper, then it's harder to pull my needle through. All right, I think we'll just we'll call this one here our last stitch. Ooh, I got a little knot right at the end, I think. Huh, weird. All right, so I'm gonna go around that spot one more time to just kind of lock it in place a little bit, and then I'll go to the back and tie it off. Let's get rid of this pin though first. Oh my gosh, we're gonna be done with this one. Ooh, there we go. All right, I'm going to put my needle away. Let's trim this and see what we got here. Okay, yay! So here is our block. And again, next up I would, I'll do this before I put it into the quilt as you go block, but I would press this probably because, you know, we've been handling it a lot. It's pretty wrinkly. And then we'll trim it. So it'll get trimmed to like this. Let me get a little farther away so you can see a little bit better. There, it'll be kind of trimmed like this. And I think we lose a lot of this white too. Pretty. Oh, it's so sweet. I love it. All right, you guys, I'm gonna flip you around and we'll take a look at this from, you know, so you can see what a human looks like next to it. And then I want to show you my little weird drop spindle little practice that I've started on Sunday. So, all right, I'm gonna flip you guys around. All right, hello again. All right, I'm gonna actually move this further back so you guys can see the drop spindle stuff. So here is the embroidery and scallop, the clamshells block. And again, it'll look so much more finished once we get these edges off. It'll just magically look more done. Like even that makes it look more done, doesn't it? So awesome. I'm stoked that one took a little while, but I love it. But all right, I want to show you guys this. Oh, it looks like a voodoo doll on a stick. It does kind of, Jennifer. So this is oh gosh, I might get this all wrong. So correct me if you guys know about spinning, but this is a drop spindle, which means that you hold it by the thread and it's dangling. So, you know, and it drops lower and lower and lower as you work on it. This part just is to store the thread that you did, and then it has a weight on it. This is a top weighted one. There's some that have a bottom weight, and then some that have a top weight. I'm not sure really the difference a lot. In the book, it kind of says that some is better for wool and some is better for flax, which were the two kind of materials used quite a bit. But I just put a weight on here. It's just a bunch of fabric. It's a bunch of jeans that I kind of braided together. It was in some drawer, and I even have a binder clip to hold it together. So, you know, maybe someday I'll get an actual pretty drop spindle, but this is what I have now. And okay, like I was saying earlier, I'm using plastic. So all of this is actually plastic. Really, it's thin spun plastic here. And they are from, so this is one of my embroidery kit patterns, and when I make these kits, they have a plastic little piece that I pull off before it gets to you guys, and that's a sticky, so so the flap sticks. But I've been saving all of these plastic strips for years and years, and so I have a few here. I was saying earlier, I have bins and bins of these. It's garbage, but I couldn't throw it away. I'm like, oh, someday I'll do something with that. So here's what I'm doing here. So I'm holding it in my right hand, and I'm going counterclockwise. So I'm holding the top bit right here, and I'm gonna spin it a little bit just to get a twist going. So I'm twisting. I keep wanting to say thread, but I'm twisting this plastic. And once I get that going, all right, I have to graft one piece to the next. So I am going to just hold it right there, hold the pieces together, and I'm gonna just kind of twist. I have to twist it to get it started. And then I'm gonna give it a little bit more spin. So this grafting part is, you know, probably the most annoying part. So it's almost all together. And then I am going to overspin it a little bit. So I'm just going to spin it a little bit more, like this. Hello. Because I'm spinning it a little bit more, when I can go up along this edge a little bit. There, I'm holding it at like the next part that I want to graft together. But if I let go, it's going to start spinning for me. And then I can just keep going here. So there we go, guys. I have a little bit more, and now see the spindle is dropping. So let's get that twisted up again, and I will graft another piece to it. So again, here's another end. Here's another one of these plastic bits, giving it a little start. And just because it's all, these two pieces are twisted together so much, it's holding it together. So let's twist it a little bit more. There you guys, so here it is from far away. Getting that top, and then I can just go up to the next piece and keep twisting. And there we go, we got our crazy our crazy plastic yarn going here. I maybe didn't twist it enough grafting it. But you know, you can get in a real rhythm of doing this. And here, oop, tripping. Here is the thread, and you can see I put it together here, and it's stuck together. So then you guys, when you're done, you just untwist it from this hook and wrap it around the bottom a little bit more. So you have a little edge there, and you wrap it around the hook again here a couple times just to hold it, and then you're ready to go a little bit more. So I'm just waiting. So that's it. I'm going to just wrap it around here again just to store it. But there we go, our little yarn. So I'm just waiting till this gets bigger, so I have a whole mass of yarn here on that. But so this is what I do with my time. I twist garbage into, you know, more garbage. But I've been having so much fun, and it was totally inspired from the Woman's Workbook. Totally recommend this, especially to all you crafters and women crafters out there. It just is really interesting. I mean, it goes through, it's an archaeology book in a sense, so, you know, it could be, it's historic stuff going through the ages, so if that's your thing, then you'll especially like it. But anyway, thanks for letting me share today. I know it was a little goofy things, and I'll be back here tomorrow. Be back here tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central again. Yeah, some wine and spinning some plastic. A party animal for sure, Shauna. All right, guys. I will catch you tomorrow. Have a great evening.